Hello, this is PG. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Radio Commander on Steam. Radio Commander is a tactical military management game developed by Sirius Sim and Console Labs. The game sees you experience the horrors of war from the perspective of the radio operator who sat in a tent. Okay, gameplay. Well, it's a simple game with a complex underbelly. First impressions make you think it will be a walk in the park. You sit at your desk in the tent, listen to the radio and monitor the map. Then, as you have conversations with your troops on the ground, you start to understand the situation. You'll have to ID enemy targets and track them with intel from the front line. Accuracy is key, because if you don't know where Charlie is, then your troops might walk right into an ambush. So it's about listening to the radio conversations, taking that information on board and being as accurate as you can with your map work. Thankfully, you can speed up time as it can be quite tedious sitting in a tent, but when things kick off, it really creates a sense of tension and chaos. It's not your normal war game. You're not hiding behind cover tossing grenades or firing your gun. You're sat at a radio, listening to the troops fighting for their lives, and your orders might save their lives. It's that weight that you carry that gives the game its most notable uptick in terms of the experience. You feel a sense of consequence, and if you don't do your job correctly, other people will die. I would say though, it can be quite an ordeal to manage the map at first, and it took me a good few hours before I could really appreciate the game. So it's definitely not a game for casual gamers. In terms of graphics, very simple. There's a tent, there's a map, there's a radio. That's about it really, not too much more. The soundscape is probably where the game aesthetically stands out. The audio really does carry it because, the conversations on the radio make the whole experience so much more vivid. It dictates how you instruct your units, where you place them, and the voice delivery, I'd say, needed to be convincing, and it is. Anyway, verdict, Radio Commander is an interesting take on the Vietnam War genre, showing the conflict from one soldier's perspective. The audio work really carries the whole game through, and it's very atmospheric on the whole. Maybe in other areas it's quite boring, it's quite an admin chore, it's taxing, it's a bit micromanagement, but again, it's interesting if you stick with it. So yeah, it's hit and miss, but on the whole I'd give it a sort of a positive outlook. I actually think this idea would work really well in a bigger online game where you had frontline first-person shooter troops in like squadrons, and then you have a selection of radio commanders who are instructing them based on intel. It could be a really interesting collaborative experience. Anyway, would I recommend it? I wouldn't recommend it if you're a casual gamer. If you're someone who likes to invest a bit of time and energy into a game, I think it's worth it. For me, I'd give it Radio Commander, I'd give 7 out of 10, probably a 6 if you're a more casual gamer, because you probably will get bored of it. But yeah, I'd say Radio Commander gets a 7 for me. Anyway, that's the review. Thanks for watching. This is PG, signing off. Cheers.